It's Monday night here, and the LCS Arcade with coverage brought to you by Alienware, and this place is also powered by Alienware. I'm joined finally by Broxah, a man who I've been looking forward to interviewing for at least 2 months now. Welcome. I know you were here last week, but we didn't get a chance to talk. What has the past 2 months been like for you?
Ooh, good question. The past 2 months have been very stressful for me. I feel like it has been a big mix of many emotions, mostly negative ones due to all the visa issues. But now I'm just really excited to be here, and we didn't get the greatest start. I was hoping for a bit of a better start after entering the stage, but at the very least, after today we're 2-2, so it's not too bad.
Well, I wanted to ask, did it feel like, there's that image of the guy from Community walking into the room holding the pizzas and it's all on fire? It's just like that was my impression of you arriving on Team Liquid. You're like, "Hey guys, how's it been going? Ready to show up?" And like, just everything's a disaster. Has that been your experience?
Not exactly, I guess. I mean, things have kind of been on fire, especially after we started losing with me. I think most of the guys expected things to start turning around more rapidly after me arriving, even though I think that was a bit of an optimistic way of thinking, right? But now I think all of us have realized that we are not in a good spot. We have a lot of work to do. We need to turn things around, and there's been a bit of a few there has been a few fires for sure. But I feel like we are slowly but surely improving, and most of all, how I see it is just that we need to buy time, because I've only been with the team for 1.5 weeks now, and most of the other teams have been playing together for 2, if not 3, 4 months for the ones that have been boot camping, like C9. So we're pretty behind, and we have a lot of work to do. So just need to collect some wins and then secure our spot in playoffs, and by that time, I'm sure we're going to be good.
What has there been anything that surprised you since coming to TL in terms of, I don't know, just your expectations around the team or different players or anything like that?
Uh, I think there has been quite a few surprises, honestly. I think the organization is spoiling their players a lot. I'm really, really enjoying being here. I'm being treated so nicely by the organization, by the team, by the staff, and everyone around the facility, which is super cool. Um, I'm losing focus.
You've got TL staff cheering at you from outside of the window. Yeah.
um, and yeah, generally, I think the team atmosphere has been super good. I wasn't sure what to expect because um, I feel like in the past you've heard some stories about TL atmosphere not being the greatest, this and that, but the atmosphere is actually super, super good, which I was really, really happy to see. Players seem to have really good relationships with each other. Criticism is being given very blunt compared to what I'm used to. It's like very, very direct, and sometimes on the edge of being offensive, um, which I have to get used to. But I kind of like that as well, that you can be so direct and honest with each other. So all in all, um, positive experience so far.
So that's crazy. I love that you're like, team atmosphere is great, but everyone is borderline offensive during feedback.
So that's like the crazy and kind of weird part about it, right? Because everyone's so honest with each other in this almost extreme way. At least for me, coming from the outside and from past experiences. But at the same time, no one ever gets anywhere near mad at each other. It's like people can argue about something for a couple of minutes, and then after, it's like nothing ever happened, and everyone's just happy. Even the person that was on the receiving end is just happy because I don't know, we improved, I guess. So it feels pretty cool.
Well, it's crazy to hear that you find this to be even more direct because two things here. One, I think LAC teams have a reputation for being very direct, toxic, and angry. And then the other thing is, this is making me think back to Rift Rivals. We had the three different LEC coaches on Hotline League that night, and they had a conversation with Doublelift where they were talking about how over in LEC the players are so direct with each other, and they feel like or Doublelift at least at the time felt as though it was really like all the players are super nice to each other, and then everything has to go through the coaches for feedback. So it sounds like maybe either something has changed or maybe LEC teams are not as direct as I expected. I don't know. It's an interesting story to hear from you.
I don't know. it's hard for me to say because on Fnatic we obviously provided each other feedback and tried to help each other as well. But it was in a like how the team was being run was in a bit of a different way in a sense, and um, it's kind of interesting with someone like Doublelift because you know I've been told that this guy is very direct and very straightforward and aggressive towards his teammates, but I don't know, he's been super nice, and I feel like this whole thing with people giving very honest feedback and being direct is like just a team thing in general, which is really good. I think now being in Team Liquid, I kind of understand um, how the team was so good last year. Even though it's a bit of a mess, we are still kind of on fire. But I see a lot of potential here, and yeah, the organization is running everything super well, and the team definitely knows how to play League of Legends. We just need to make it show a bit more clearly on stage, I guess.
Well, I'm glad to hear the team knows how to play League of Legends. That was step one, and I was really nervous. And so the fact you've let me know, because sometimes I was watching, I was like, do they know how to play this game? Anyway, talking about one of my favorite moments of the split was watching your video that you posted on Twitter where you're like, I've got some good news, guys, because you were just smiling like an idiot, and it was very adorable. And maybe you can take me through sort of that day, because you must have been really nervous or maybe really scared because you just seemed so happy in that moment.
So before coming here, and especially the last 2 weeks or so in Denmark, I was really nervous because the visa process just kept being delayed, and then eventually it got to the point where I was finally gonna get my answer. And I remember I woke up like super early because I had to be in Copenhagen really early for my visa interview, and I was so nervous. And then eventually, after waiting in there for a while, I got to do my interview, and at last I just remember her saying like, "Your visa has been approved, by the way," or something like this, and I was like, "Oh," felt so good. And then I don't know, after coming home, I just wanted to film a little video, and I don't know, like I actually wanted to try to hide my smile for just maybe 10 seconds at first to try to build it up, but it turned out to be a bit trickier than what I imagined before recording. That's for sure.
No, it was immediately obvious that you were so happy for this. So, I mean, congratulations. I definitely feel as though your process over here. I also love. What was it like for you? I guess I'll ask. With TL constantly hyping up, like they had the activation at the tailgate where you could get a picture with a visa. They had the cardboard cutout of you. They kept they turned it into the saga of like saving Private Broxah or the Martian or whatever. What was it like for you seeing all that stuff from across the ocean?
I feel like both Team Liquid as well as the LCS itself has been hyping up my arrival so much, which was really exciting to see, right? On one side, it was, it made me a bit nervous because it put on so much pressure, but at the same time, the fact that, me alone can create so much hype was so exciting and so hype. And I don't know, I'm really sad that the debut especially went so poorly because there was so much hype. If that Lee Sin game went well, that would have been an insane kickoff, right? But at least I'm happy that we're starting to show some improvement, so I don't get completely slaughtered after all that hype.
Well, welcome to LCS. Congratulations on the visa process. Anything you want to say to any of the LCS fans out there?
Well, thanks to everyone out there for supporting me, even though we had 2 pretty rough games after my arrival. Many of you have been very supportive, sending me lots of kind messages, and I really appreciate that. I'm sure it's just a matter of time before we're going to turn this around and turn into the Team Liquid that you all know. Trying my best to fit in and make sure we get there. And yeah, thanks for the support. Thanks for giving me a warm welcome.
Well, thank you so much, Broxah. Again, welcome. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of my coverage of all things esports right here on my YouTube channel. Amazing interview, Travis. Just absolutely love that. I'm so glad that you did that. Now the handoff to me, a different Travis, who's going to handle this outro. Anyway, speaking of handling hands, wrists, watches, and sunglasses. You can get them. Movement makes them. They're amazing. They sponsor my LCS interviews, including this one and the other ones that you've watched. There's a link in the description. You can actually save money by going to that link and checking out their stuff. It really helps me out. They make some great stuff. They're based out of LA here, by the way, and I've been loving a lot of the stuff they've been sending me lately. These are new from the start. Like, I think they sent me these last month, and they're quite nice. But they've got a variety of styles that you may enjoy for yourself. So either way, if you just click the link, it actually helps me out regardless. But of course, while you're over there, check out their stuff. It's really fantastic. Thanks so much to Movement for sponsoring, and of course Alienware for also sponsoring so much of what I do. Thanks so much to my sponsors.